Today's review game is over 2.1 through 2.5. My goal is to help you feel prepared for your test tomorrow. Please go ahead and write down the original problem on your whiteboard, show the work, and then box in your answer. Remember, the first number goes first, cover it up, 1.3. We've talked about this before. You cannot have a decimal point over there. So what do I have to do to that decimal point? Let's move it to the right one time, and I've got to be fair and move this to the right. Remember, rewrite 26 divided by 13. It goes into it 2 times. A lot of people just said their answer was 2. Is that correct? No. Remember, if you come over here, it was one negative number, so your answer should be -2. For this next one, you're trying to find the quotient. Am I allowed to divide fractions? So what method do I have to use? KFC. Keep the first one, flip the second one. A lot of people forgot to flip the second one on their quiz, so don't forget, and then change the operation. Another thing people are kind of forgetting is cross-reducing. Remember, you're allowed to do that when you multiply things. So what does that equal when I multiply that out now? 6/2. Can that be reduced? Yeah, you want to simplify it, so the answer is just a 3. When finding this one, what do I have to do to that mixed number? Okay, there were a few people who had a hard time with how to turn something into an improper fraction on the quiz. Remember, multiply those two together, then add whatever the numerator is. So what do you get when you multiply that out? -5/4 times 1/3. Can I cross-reduce anything? No. So the correct answer, keep that negative. A lot of people forgot to keep their negative. The correct answer is -5/12. For this one, it asks us to make the mixed number into a decimal. There's a couple ways you can do this. What's the whole number on 7 1/5? 7 is the whole number, so I could just keep that as a whole number. Now, I've got to turn 1/5 into a decimal. How would I turn that into a decimal? 1 divided by 5 if I wanted to. When I do that, that just equals 0.2. If you didn't want to do it that way, you don't have to. Watch, this is another way I've taught you. You can turn it into an improper fraction. What would this be as an improper fraction? 36/5. Now, 36 divided by 5. You can add some zeros. 7 times 5 is 35. And you will still get the same answer as we got before, 7.2. Many people have memorized. Anytime they see 1/5, that always equals 0.2. All right, so the correct answer is 7.2. A lot of people missed this kind of a thing on their quiz yesterday. This one, I've given you a decimal, but I don't want a decimal anymore. I want it to be a mixed number in simplest form. When we do something like this, I like to break it up to whole numbers and parts of numbers. The whole number is before the decimal point. So what's the whole number including the negative sign? -10. Some people forgot about that -10. Now, the part of the number is 0.6. Guys, what place is the 0.6 in? That's in the tenths place. So that's 6/10. All you're doing is you're changing that 0.6 into 6/10. Once again, this was my whole number. This was my 0.6. Can that be reduced at all? Yes, if I were to reduce that, what number can go into both of those? 2. I can divide by 2 on top and bottom. When you do that, you're still going to have the same whole number, which was -10. Okay, some people are forgetting about that. When you reduce it, what do you get? 3/5. So the correct answer is -10 and 3/5. All right. A lot of people are missing questions like that, so I'm going to do one more that is similar to that. Please write this in simplest form as a mixed number. Okay, guys, what's the whole number here?
2.
2. Keep the whole number. You don't have to do anything with that. What place is the 0.7 in? Tenths. So that is 2 7/10. A lot of you are making this harder than it needs to be, okay? All you're doing is choosing what place it's in. For number 6, it says to use the number properties to multiply. As I'm looking for this, when I was looking for it on your quiz, I want to see that you're using the number properties. Remember, that means commutative. Remember, you're switching things around so that the problem could be next to their reciprocal. Okay, so try that out on your own. With the commutative property, we want to put the fractions together that are reciprocals. So how many of you showed me that you switched that order? So it should be 2/3 times -3/2 times 4/8. With this over here on the left, these will cancel out to becoming 1s, and those become 1s. Looking at this, class, what is that all multiplied out?
-1.
-1. Please remember to keep the -1. This is what I got a lot of people do on their quiz yesterday. Then they put the 4/8 there, and they said the answer was -1 and 4/8. What's wrong with that?
You gotta put the parentheses.
Please put the parentheses, because parentheses tell me I have to multiply. Guys, is my answer going to be positive or negative? Negative. So when I multiply that out, it's -4/8. A lot of you kept your answer. What's wrong with that?
You gotta reduce it.
You have to reduce it, making your answer -1/2. For number 7, it says to evaluate the expression when h equals 12, k equals -4, and m equals -2. All this is a plug it in, plug it in. A lot of people did plug in things correctly on their quiz, but they messed up on little things. At least start with showing me you're plugging things in. Guys, instead of h, what will I plug in? 12. Instead of k? -4. Plus, what's m? -2. Remember this, who always wins out of plus minus? The negative, because when I add a negative, it means that I am just subtracting. So I'm going to get rid of that right there, okay? Let's start with this. What is 12 divided by -4? -3. Bring down your -2. Okay, now listen. Some people still at this point had the little plus sign there, which is fine. Am I adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing now? I am adding. Same sign or different sign? Help me with that. Same sign, add and keep. Stop right there. Add the numbers, keep the sign. What's the answer? -5. I saw a lot of positive 5s out there, but the correct answer was -5. For today, we're going to do this problem together. K squared would be -4 squared minus h, which is 12, divided by -2. What should I do first, class? Let's do the exponents. What is -4 squared?
-4 times -4.
-4 times -4, which is 16. Bring down -12 divided by -2. What should I do next, the subtraction or the divide?
Divide.
Let's do this divide part first, okay? What is 12 divided by -2? -6. Remember to still bring the rest of this down. What do I have there?
The two negative signs.
Good job. Turn a double negative into a positive, and what's the answer? 22. A lot of people missed this problem on their homework yesterday because they forgot about doing the division part. This is where they messed up. They forgot to do that division part before subtracting. Please remember PEMDAS. That will help you very much. So here we have a snowboarder. He's on top of a mountain. So let's just imagine here's our mountain. It says he started at 2,000 feet and he descended. Which way is descending? Okay, so he's going down, and where does he end up?
1,500.
He ends up right about here, 1,500 feet. And he does that in only 20 seconds. Then it asks us, what's the mean change in elevation per second? When you see these words here, mean change, we are going to use this little formula that we came up with. Do you guys remember this?
Final minus initial divided by time.
Let's say it together. Final minus initial divided by the time. One more time. Final minus initial divided by the time. Where did this snowboarder end up finally?
1,500.
At the 1,500 feet. He went down a little bit. Where did he start initially?
2,000.
At the 2,000. How long did it take him to do this? 20 seconds. Remember up here. Same sign, add and keep. Different sign, subtract. Don't forget, take the sign of the larger number. What do you get there? Negative 500 feet over 20 seconds. Now, if it asks you for a mean, it means how much did they do in 1 second? Not in 20 seconds, in 1 second. So how do I get this 20 to turn into a 1? I'm going to divide by 20 on top, and I will divide by 20 on bottom. When you guys did the division, what's negative 500 divided by 20? Negative 25 feet. A lot of people forgot that negative. Here's what happened. He went down 25 feet every single second. And that's how, at the end of 20 seconds, he had gone down 500 feet. For this modeling real life, you are playing a game on the computer. For every correct move, you get 15 points. For every minute it takes you to finish the game, you lose 5 points. It takes you 8 minutes to complete the game, and you made it in 3 correct moves. I want to know what your final score was. There's 2 things you should take into consideration. Your correct moves and your what? And your time. Use this information to help you organize how many points your final score was. The first thing you see, it says for every correct move, you receive 15 points. Are those positive or negative points?
Positive.
Positive points. And how many correct moves did we have?
3.
You made 3 correct moves. So I could do 15 plus 15 plus 15, or I could do what?
Multiply.
15 times 3. How many positive points did we get?
45.
Positive 45. I'm going to circle that in. My time. What does it tell me about my time?
It takes you 8 minutes to game.
Okay. It tells us you lose 5 points. What integer goes for losing 5 points? Negative 5. And how many minutes did it take me? 8 minutes. Multiply it. What is that integer? Negative 40. So now you just combine those 2 scores, and you've got 45 minus 40. Your correct answer is? 5 points. Thank you for remembering units attached. The correct answer is 5 points. All right, so this that we just did is over 2.1 to 2.5. Please review this for your test tomorrow.